Self-love is the most radical form of activism because from it, all else flows. Here's the truth. Many of us weren't raised to love ourselves. Instead, we were taught to fit in, to perform, to prove. And so, the journey of self-love is one of unlearning, peeling back layers, and finally saying yes to who we are, imperfections and all. Let me be real with you, it ain't easy. But when you wake up to the essence of who you are, full acceptance brings a joy that is indescribable. Self-love in action, it shows up everywhere. The work we choose, the people we date, the food we eat, the boundaries we set. That's what this series is all about. Stories, tools, and reflections to remind you that self-love isn't selfish, it's sacred. I'm Nadine McNeil, Universal Empress, transforming lives one breath at a time. I cannot wait for you to dive in. Welcome back to the Self-Love is a Practice podcast series. Today I'm talking to you about one of my favorite topics and a pillar in this podcast series, namely self-love and wellness. Health is the new wealth, and when we are feeling healthy, wealthy, we're also feeling well. Especially in our modern world, how we nurture ourselves, the thoughts we entertain, the food we eat, the work we do, the people we surround ourselves with, all of this contributes to our total well-being. It is our responsibility to ensure that we are taking total care of our well-being. Our bodies are our temples. The bodies are what carry around our hopes, our dreams, our joys, our desires, our loves, all of it. So we want to be super sure that we're taking care of our bodies. So how do we do this and where do we begin? One of the things I want to say to you is wherever you are, begin. Something brought you to this podcast series, and I know that if you're here, you're already entertaining a certain degree of mindfulness and self-awareness in your life. I love the body. I spend a lot of time talking about the body because for me, the body is where everything begins. The body will inform us before the mind does. It's what we call the head-heart connection. Many of us, too many of us, have been raised to trust the mind and second guess the heart and the body. If we do nothing else, we're going to shift that frequency. Honor the wisdom of your body. When we talk about things like a gut reaction, it's because the body feels, the body knows. How do we deepen and develop our relationship with the body? For me, it's all about movement. So whether you dance, swim, walk, run, practice yoga, lift weights, whatever it is, you want to move your body. What if the body has limitations? Be compassionate with the body. We will later talk about self-love and self-compassion. And one of the places that we can begin this is in the body. We live in a world where so much tells us to discount the body, particularly as women. There's so much self-loathing and self-rejection. Love your body exactly as it is. Love all of your imperfections. We come back to that grounding exercise. If you just simply hug yourself daily, in those moments where you may not be feeling so sure about yourself, give yourself a tender embrace. Learn to connect with the body on a daily basis. We talk about the mind. For me, the mind, it's prayer, it's meditation, it's self-reflection, it's finding moments of quiet and stillness. One of my pet peeves in today's world is that everywhere we go, we're bombarded with sound. You go to have a coffee in the morning, there's music playing at the cafe. Can we be with quiet? Can we be with stillness? This is where we get to hear the wisdom of the mind. And when we talk about spirit or soul, I want to hasten to add, this is entirely non-denominational. I am not speaking from a religious perspective. Spirit or soul is however you identify that intangible source, that God or goddess of your inner standing, that source that is so much greater than your mere mortal self. Spirit and soul exist in a plant. It exists in a flower. It exists in raindrops. It exists in a blade of grass. It exists in so many beautiful places. And so we want to be able to connect to all of that. So as we talk about physical self-love, I want to talk about food. How are we nourishing the body? I am not a nutritionist, nor am I a dietitian, and this is not what this is about. You want to be eating healthy, nourishing, as much unprocessed food as you possibly can to take care of the body. Food becomes your fuel. You want to ensure that you're enjoying what you're eating. I love color, so I will often have lots of vibrancy and color on my palette. So I want to talk about mental self-care because the beauty is one of the gifts of the pandemic, whether we believe it or not, is that it's now socially acceptable to talk about mental health and wealth. I come out of a culture, Jamaica, where there's a lot of shame surrounding mental health, and I am so grateful that that is shifting. So it's okay for us to say we're not feeling okay. When we think about what we've lived through as human beings in the past 5 years, the levels of uncertainty, the deaths that have surrounded us, there is so much that has triggered our central nervous systems and our adrenals. It is no wonder that we are feeling out of center, so to speak. Trauma has become normalized. Many of us, particularly in Western societies, we live with a sort of what I call low-grade trauma that's always running in the subconscious. And where does trauma, nervous fatigue, etc., impact the body? In the nervous system. So you want to be engaging in activities such as resting, meditation, engaging in positive self-talk. And I want to hasten here and talk about, I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm talking about speaking to yourself as though you would a best friend. Too many of us are internal self-talk. We wouldn't talk to an enemy like that. So why are we talking to ourselves in such a way? I also want to add emotional self-care. What do I mean when I say emotional self-care? An attitude of gratitude is one of my favorites. And as I said earlier on, even before you get out of bed, if you can begin by just thinking of 3 things that you're grateful for. One of my favorite practices, and you love this, if you can, at the entrance of your home, place a jar with a little notepad and some colorful pens. And before you go through the door each day, just write down one thing that you're grateful for. It could even be something like, that was a delicious cup of coffee. Fold it up and put it in what I call your gratitude bank. Because there are going to be days when you're going to go, gosh, I have nothing to give today. And just place your hand in your jar and pull one thing out and let that fuel you for the day. The other thing I want to encourage us to do is seek counseling, seek some sort of modality to support you. The fact that you're not feeling emotionally sound is not a sign of weakness. The fact that you're able to recognize it is the first step to healing. So whether it's finding a support group, be that online or in person, surrounding yourself with people of like mind, being in communities that will allow you to be vulnerable, I encourage you to seek that out. So, remember, true wellness begins when we love ourselves enough to take care of all parts of ourselves. And so it is. My name is Nadine McNeil, Universal Empress, shifting lives one breath at a time. Namaste.